In the previous lecture, we created our seed file. However, we had to manually cast the data type of the tip column from integer to string. One thing we can do is to configure the data type of a seed. For that, we have to go into the project.yaml file. Here you can see the section where we configure our models. We can also do the same for seeds. Let me copy the name of the project down here. We can go here and do seeds and then specified our project name as a resource path so that every configuration that we put here only affects the resources available in this project. Now we go one step down and we specify the name of the seed that we want to configure. We want to change the column type. So column type. We specify the column you want to change the type. It is a tip column and you want it to be a string. And with that, if we do dbt seed again, the data type of the column will change from integer to string. So let's go over here. This is a tip code. You can see right now we have integer. And if we save and do dbt seed, it was successful. You can now go over here, integer, but if I refresh the page, it should go to string. Open here. Tip code. Now it went to string, which means we can go back into dbt, remove this. Now that the data type are the same, there's no need to convert anything. You can now preview the data again, just to make sure that the code is still running. One thing that we will also see over here is that this tip code is being created inside our main dataset. And if you want to create a different dataset where you put that type of data, meaning lookups table, query parameters, you don't want that to be in your main dataset. You want to put that in a different dataset. And to do that, we can configure a different schema for our seeds. You can go back into dbt cloud to the project.yaml file. Over here where we have our configuration, we say tip code, and now we like to configure the schema. So I can do schema and simply call that query parameters. One thing that I like to do is to simply enter config over here. I'm just going to save that. And then we can do dbt seed again. Let's just rerun this. Nice, dbt seed was successful, which means if you go into the details, we will be able to see that it was created in a completely different dataset. As you can see over here, query parameter. So it's going to take your username underscore the custom schema that you specified, which means I can now go in here. We still have the older table, but down here you can see we have a new one that is in a different dataset. So I can delete this. And now I still have my tip code here and my source code is still going to be running. So I can do preview. If you even do compile, which is even better, you will then see that dbt is picking this table from a different dataset. You have it there. You know that the tip code table is in this dataset and not in this dataset. And this is how we can configure our seeds in dbt. Of course, there is more that you can configure, and to find that out, you'll have to go into the documentation. There's no way around going to the documentation and finding out what are all the possibilities that are available to us. If you go here, the seed configuration, first you will see that seeds are CSV file in your dbt project that you can load into your data warehouse using the dbt seed command. We already did that. And then we can then reference the seeds with the ref function. And here you can see some good use cases for seeds in dbt. If you have a list of mappings of country to country name, so you can have a country code like 49 and you want to know which country that is Germany, or a list of test email that you like to exclude from anything, let's say a blacklist or a don't use list. You should not use dbt seed to load raw data into your data warehouse. That's not the point of that. And also try not to use it with personal identifiable information and password, because you will have passwords stored in your GitHub repository, and here you will have people names, probably addresses also stored in a GitHub repository. Just don't put any sensitive information into seeds. We can also configure seeds in a project file as we did, or you can use a property file. Inside a project file, you have the seed, the resource path, decide if the seed is enabled or not. You can add some text to it. You can specify a schema or an alias. You can add some metadata. Whatever you need, you can go over here and find out how to do that. And what I already find pretty nice is that even inside an analysis, you can have a lineage. And if that query is using any seeds, you will have a nice icon. I really like this icon. It really looks like a small plant that is growing. That was everything about seeds. If you have any question, you can reach out to me and we'll find out how to fix that. See you in the next lecture.